Okay, we're live, and we're back, Joe.
We had some interference. We started talking about the Eagles quarterback situation, and I think some Eagles fans burned down your connection.
Yeah, is that what happened?
Yeah, they threw batteries, and they must have hit your antenna.
I can see that. I can totally
We were
see
just and shout out to our boy, legendary dirtball Gene Marty Hunt, who's in the comments section saying that he's all in. He's an Eagles fan. He said he's in on Jalen Hurts. Surprise, surprise. I think he's going to look a lot like the people who support Jalen Hurts in Philly. And there's going to be a clear distinction between what those who don't, who want to stick with dumpster fire that is Carson Wentz look like in Philly.
Well, your point was they're not in a good situation moving forward
because their starting quarterback, their clear starting quarterback is on a rookie deal, and their clear backup quarterback is somebody that's on a deal that no one is going to want to take off their hands.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you one position you absolutely don't want to be in. There's the Goff situation where you've paid a quarterback that you shouldn't have. There's a Kirk Cousins situation where you paid a quarterback you shouldn't have. You certainly don't want to be paying two quarterbacks.
No, you definitely don't. And not with a team that has, 4 wins right now for the Eagles?
3? 4. 4-9-1. 4-10-1.
They have the same record as the Cincinnati Bengals, whom they tied. 4-10-1. Not a good situation.
No. Love it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be exciting as crap piece the NFC East has been.
And now I've got to root for them next week.
I was going to say, it comes down to the final week of football, and you will be rooting for them.
I got to say, I'm in no way excited about the Giants situation as the 2020 New York Giants is, even if they make the playoffs, I don't think, anybody is excited about what's happening with them. I think a couple of weeks ago, it was a different story following that win against your Seattle Seahawks, but they've done absolutely nothing since that point. They've lost 3 consecutive games. But right now in the NFC East, what we have is the Eagles eliminated and in salary cap hell. The Giants, Cowboys, and Washington football team fighting for that playoff spot. The dumpster fire Eagles will have to beat the Washington football team that just released its quarterback, that just released its starting quarterback. And then if that happens, the winner of the Giants Cowboys game goes in. If Jalen Hurts can't beat the Washington football team who just released their starting quarterback, then the Washington football team without a starting quarterback will go to the playoffs. So talk about a disaster that is the NFC East.
Yeah, you kind of lost me for a second there because I was like, what?
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
Well, let me ask you something, Andy. Who do you think wins the NFC East, and who do you think does any NFC East team have a chance to win a playoff game against any possible playoff matchup?
No.
None.
I'm going to give a hard no on that. So I don't even really care who wins, to be honest.
Not even if it's, a Washington football team or a New York football Giants match up against your Seattle Seahawks playing let's play ugly football.
Well, that couldn't happen in the first round.
Oh, because the
Seahawks have
clinched the division.
Yes.
Got it. So it'd be like a Bucks team or a Rams team or something like that.
If the playoffs started today, it'd be Washington versus Bucks.
Wow.
So basically, you're going to have – there's a good chance it would be that because the Bucks – I don't know who the Bucks have their final game, but the Rams have to win. It basically comes down to the final few spots are going to be up for grabs. The Bucks have clinched a playoff spot.
Right, so they're in.
So they're in.
And they're in against the worst division winner.
Correct.
Which would be the NFC East.
Which is a nice spot for them. Because if the playoffs started today, the Seahawks get the Rams again. Like, that's a tough game, man.
Yeah.
And the Bears are sitting at number 7. And the Cardinals are just outside that at number 8. That was a huge loss for the Cardinals, man. To me, that, by the way, I want to say real quick, that showed how good Shanahan is, in my opinion. I think the difference between someone like a Shanahan and McVay, and I think Shanahan's a better coach than him. He can win games on the road with CJ Beathard. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah.
That's your third stringer.
What's the answer for I feel like the Niners, they play good defense. Now they may lose their defensive coordinator to a head coaching job this offseason. That seems like it may happen. But if not, even if they do or they don't, like from an offensive standpoint, they've got to get their offense right and consistent. And it seems like that's just a matter of a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, gone but not forgotten.
You think he's gone for sure?
No, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, he doesn't. You can't pencil him in for 16 games next year.
Yeah,
he's not Cal Ripken, that's for sure.
No. The thing is, I still like them, right? We both still like them.
Yeah. But do we like them? What's the answer? I mean, I was talking about Matt Ryan to the Niners. There's been a lot of, making a move for a Dak to the Niners. We still have the free Matthew Stafford campaign. We got to get I feel like it's got to be it's going to be like the Dirty Sports podcast. This has got to be our thing. Like breaking Matthew Stafford out of Detroit. Like, how do we do it? Like Mission Impossible style. Like, we dress up in all black, put on eye black. We need to bust him out. We need to jailbreak Matt Stafford out of Detroit.
I mean, that thing I posted from the game, from the game on Saturday, it says it all as far as Matthew Stafford's time. He has the most passing yards in NFL history through his first 163 starts.
And I hate the only goal comes in garbage time. That's such a whack response.
Well, you know why it's a whack response? Because this is over 12 years. This isn't over a small amount of. This is over like a 12-year career.
Yeah.
Facts, people. Hey, if you want to come at me with a significant number of garbage time stats that Matthew Stafford has racked up, come at me. But you ain't gonna do it.
But also, even the garbage time, like, what is that? That tells you a couple of things. First of all, he's playing all the games. Second of all, through multiple head coaches, every single one of them has said Matthew Stafford is not the problem. We lose a bunch of games. We're not in. We're out of these games. They're not trying other options. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks that don't get garbage time stats because they're like, our quarterback threw us out of this game. Multiple head coaches have been like, Matthew Stafford is not the issue with the Detroit Lions.
If he doesn't get moved, I don't think Matthew Stafford will continue playing NFL that much longer.
Can you imagine if he did? If he was like the latest to be like, guys, if you don't move me, I'm just retiring from football.
Like, why would he?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't he retire? If he's not moved by the end of next year.
By the end of next year, it's got to be by the end of, like, move him this offseason. Like, if I'm Matthew Stafford, look, what are we doing here?
I agree.
The Packers have Aaron Rodgers and are the Packers. The Vikings are going to, unless the Vikings are essentially doing a reverse Lions, they have to move on from Kirk Cousins and immediately get better. The Bears, Detroit is not becoming a contender in that division anytime soon. Honestly, I think you've got, like, why wouldn't you, if you're Detroit, why wouldn't you get value for Matt Stafford?
Yeah, I agree. You got to get rid of him.
You got to get rid of him. Start rebuilding from somewhere, because you're essentially what you're going to do is you're not going to get value for him when you can, and eventually he's going to retire on you, and then you'll have lost him for nothing.
Yeah. That's where good players go to die, man.
It's Detroit. Unbelievable.
It really is. Dude, if he became the third person to retire in their prime, it's a culture thing.
I mean, the flip side of that is, let's be honest, most of Megatron's yards were in garbage time. Barry Sanders just running out the clock in a lot of games. None of those stats. I mean, come on. That, by the way, that's what you guys sound like. That's what you guys sound like. Everybody was a Megatron's the best receiver in football. No one ever said all his yards come in garbage time.
12 years of garbage time stats. Think about that.
Yeah. And by the way, it's so easy. All you have to do, it takes you 3 seconds. Like follow the garbage time tweet thing. If it's not in their profile, it's in one of their first retweets of a Packers score, a Bears score, or a Vikings score.
But
Vikings and Bears fans, you got your own problems.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd be defensive of that, by the way.
Honestly,
I don't know.
If you're a Vikings fan or a Bears fan, you should be slurping Matt Stafford in hopes that somehow you get him.
I'm looking at the tweet that I posted. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but somebody wrote underneath our tweet, he's only had 11 games in his entire career of somebody rushing for 100 yards in a game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
If true, wow.
Yeah, big if true.
Oh, you want to hear another shitty response? Now that we're on this. Stop saying free player name when they willingly signed a contract extension. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I love that too.
Yeah.
People think when you sign a contract.
By the way, Matthew Stafford should have held out. By the way, holding out in the NFL is always met with positive fan reaction. Nothing gets fans on your side like holding out. That guy would definitely be saying, Matthew Stafford, right to hold out and not play.
But you can apply that for anything in life, right? That's where I come in. It's like you started a job at this salary or at this hourly rate. You're never allowed to renegotiate. You started the job at this much an hour.
But the argument is Matthew Stafford believed stupidly that the Detroit Lions had a chance to turn it around. So he signed an extension with the Lions, hoping that they would one day figure it out. And now that it has been proven that they won't figure it out, we're not allowed to say free Matt Stafford. Free fucking Matt Stafford. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Can I play this JJ Watt clip?
Yes.
We got to play a JJ Watt clip. This is after they gave up 37 points to who started for the Bengals yesterday?
Was it Finley?
No, it was
it wasn't. I didn't watch 1 second of that football game.
I didn't either.
Not 1 single second.
Me either.
I don't think any of the broadcasts that I was watching. I watched every other football game. I don't think any of the broadcasts I was watching showed a highlight from that football game.
Yeah. I didn't watch 1 second either.
And it was your local game.
Well, I had 2 local games. So I had that, and I also had the Pittsburgh Colts. Which one you think I chose? Definitely not the Bungles. All right, I got to play this JJ Watt clip of him going off in the press conference after yesterday's loss.
We're professional athletes getting paid a whole lot of money. If you can't come in and put work in the building, go out to the practice field and work hard, do your lifts and do what you're supposed to do, you should not be here. This is a job. We are getting paid a whole lot of money. There are a lot of people that watch us and invest their time and their money into buying our jerseys and buying a whole bunch of shit. And they care about it. They care every single week. We're in week 16 and we're 4-11. And there's fans that watch this game, that show up to the stadium, that put in time and energy and effort and care about this. So if you can't go out there and you can't work out, you can't show up on time, you can't practice, you can't want to go out there and win, you shouldn't be here. Because this is a privilege. It's the greatest job in the world. You get to go out and play a game. And if you can't care enough, even in week 17, even when you're trash, when you're 4-11, if you can't care enough to go out there and give everything you've got and try your hardest, that's bullshit. So that's how. I think there are people every week that still tweet you, that still come up to you and say, hey, we're still rooting for you. We're still behind you. They have no reason whatsoever to. We stink. But they care, and they still want to win, and they still want you to be great. That's why. Those people aren't getting paid. We're getting paid handsomely. That's why. And that's who I feel the most bad for, is our fans. and the people who care so deeply in this city and the people who love it and who truly want it to be great, and it's not. And that sucks as a player to know that we're not giving them what they deserve.
Brought to you by Subway. I think that the Houston Texans and J.J. Watt playing for them and him being the spokesperson to kind of call out his teammates is very fitting that he also is the spokesperson for Subway, a terrible, terrible sandwich shop that makes awful, arguably the worst sandwiches of any chain in the United States. I'll go as far as the world. Very fitting. I'm just saying.
And the world, we got a reply to our tweet that in other countries they won't recognize Subway bread as bread.
Is that true?
Yeah, because it's like too sweet. It's like a pastry. And then I think that there's some place where they found like yoga mat rubber in the bread.
Oh.
Listen, I am far from a JJ Watt stan. I've been pretty critical of JJ Watt and like the not being able to stay on the field while simultaneously being an Instagram influencer who is trying to, I don't know, sell tractor trailer tires or something like that to people. But you got to give props where you got to give credit where credit's due. Like, pretty good take. He definitely cares. He definitely tries really hard. He's definitely, spilled some blood for the Texans. And, he's calling out the guys on his team. And when you're 4-11, I think sometimes that you talk about new coach coming in next year, all that stuff. You need a culture change. He's planting his flag, and I'm going to still be here, and I'm going to change the culture starting today. I'm in favor of this JJ Watt TED Talk.
Do you think his teammates like or dislike him?
I think that the guys who matter on that team probably like JJ Watt.
Yeah.
I think there's, the guys he just called out probably don't like him.
Sure.
And they probably know who they are. I think when all is said and done, does any single player on the Texans besides JJ Watt or Deshaun Watson's opinion matter? Does one other guy's on that team opinion matter?
Not really. I'll tell you this much. I think JJ Watt needs to get high with me, though. He's a mellow aloe.
You think that's JJ Watt's problem? He's too high strung.
Look, dude, I'm all for intensity and being high strung. I'm all for people having the motivation, but
JJ Watt needs some edibles and to watch The Bachelorette with you. Is that what you're saying?
God, I was baked. So baked.
We should have that's actually a really good premise for like a hard knocks with the Houston Texans next year. Instead of cuts, JJ Watt decides whether or not you have enough intensity to be a member of the Houston Texans, and he gives out roses.
It's like
if the guys don't get a rose, they get cut.
By the way, I'm big into people who are all about the intensity. Like, I love David Goggins, but he also makes me laugh. You don't follow him, but I love him ever since I heard him on Rogan's show and I read his book, and his Instagram and Twitter are so intense, but they're also funny, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unintentionally. And it can motivate me at the same time where I'm also like, yo, dude, also smoke a joint, man. Chill out, bro. Like, you can be intense because I think I'm intense. I've been told
I have a bit about that, about like, The Rock posting Instagram videos of him working out at like 5 a.m. When I see that, it doesn't make me want to work out at 5 a.m. It makes me want to like tell The Rock, like, Rock, take a day off, man. Relax.
No, yeah.
Like, you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. every day. So that's why I have 41 and a full head of hair, and you're entirely bald. It's like some rest is good for you too, Rock.
Look, I get inspired though too. I'm weird. At the same time, I also make jokes about it. Like, I'll be inspired by that shit. Don't get me wrong. Like, somebody like The Rock to me is inspiring. You're like, wow, this guy's a badass. JJ Watt's a badass. But also, you can do both, right? I don't know. Maybe you can't. Can you not? Like, can you not run 30 miles and then smoke a joint later that week? I don't know. Maybe you can't.
I'm sure that you can. I mean, the NFL is full of guys who are, smoking joints and killing the game.
You know what I learned? Speaking of smoking joints, and give a shout out to Travis Kelsey, who now set the all-time single season receiving record for yards for a tight end. He was suspended. He went to University of Cincinnati. Both him and his brother did. And I knew they were Ohio guys. I didn't know this. I looked at his Wikipedia after he broke that. I was curious. He was suspended a full season during his college days at University of Cincinnati for testing positive for weed, which is crazy. I think they suspended him for a whole season, like early on in his career.
Yeah.
But look at him. Is all I'm saying. Like, I'm not surprised that Travis Kelsey likes weed. Look how good the man is doing.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is this, guys. I'm going to get really baked after the show, and then I'm going to go swim in the pool for an hour and do great exercise.
I mean, it's so great to stone swim, isn't it?
I've actually never done it.
Andy, you're going to love it.
Yeah, I've heard things. I've heard it's good. Well, Joe, we've gone on a lot for NFL, which I think is great discussions. We're both excited for next season, but we got a few other things we got to get to before the show is over. And before we do that, I want to remind everybody that today's show is brought to you by our friends at Butcher Box, which I absolutely love. And I am looking forward to my New Year's resolution, which we're talking about intensity and getting in shape. And I started early, Joe. I'm not waiting. That was my goal this year. I'm not starting my New Year's resolution January 1st. I'm starting it halfway through December, which I've started. And part of it is eating better and eating some high quality meat, which Butcher Box is. I love their meat. And I also want to start eating more fish, which Butcher Box is going to take care of, because right now, if you go to butcherbox.com/dirty, you get 2 pounds of 2 pounds of salmon, I should say. Absolutely.
Salmon.
I love salmon. Absolutely free with your first box. That's butcherbox.com/dirty. Dirtballs. All the meat is free of antibiotics and added hormones. Each 9 to 11 pounds of meat, enough for 24 individuals. It's freshly packed and shipped from frozen and vacuum sealed, so it stays that way. You can customize your boxes. Again, can't reiterate this enough. I'm starting with more fish this year, Prano. The salmon's going to come into play. I love mixing it with my veggies, with my salads. So right now, you get 2 pounds of salmon absolutely free with your first box. Just go to butcherbox.com/dirty. That's butcherbox.com/dirty. Okay. NBA or Major League Baseball, what do you want to do?
Let's do NBA, and then we can wrap up with the breaking Major League Baseball news.
Okay. So the Clippers set a record yesterday. They were losing by 50 points. 50 points at halftime. No Kawhi. Pandemic Paul was in rare form. I don't want to put it all on him, but hey, 50-point halftime deficit. Was that the largest in NBA history, I believe?
Yes. And, I mean, like you said, no Kawhi, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, I think that the Clippers in the past have had a coaching problem. And I don't think that they have solved their coaching problem. I don't care if your best player's out. You're down by 50. I mean, the New York Knicks blew out the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that anything can happen, but the Clippers team without Kawhi is significantly better than a Knicks team, is significantly better than a Hornets team that beat the Nets yesterday. Like, you got to compete.
Yeah.
They didn't compete.
No. I just don't know how you do that. Again, we're coming back to, that's a culture problem, which starts from the top, the coaching. How are we down 50 points?
Because they they simultaneously didn't stop them at all. They were down 77-27.
They couldn't score and they couldn't stop them.
I mean, that's 13.5 points a quarter.
I mean, dude,
that's a girls' high school game.
I will say, when he plays bad, or dude, Paul George just gets dunked on Twitter.
Yeah,
like NBA and Black Twitter comes out in full force to just roast him.
And look, I think Paul George is he gets roasted because he has the contract of a high profile guy. He's got the attitude of a high profile guy. He's got the sneakers of a high profile guy. But what is he? You know, to me, it's like he's Carmelo Anthony. You know, I mean,
well, he was better when he was under the radar more under
exactly
those first few years of the Pacers.
And obviously, he's a way better defender than Carmelo Anthony. But my point is, very early on in Carmelo Anthony's career, it was clear, especially after he moved to the Knicks, it was very clear that Carmelo Anthony ain't carrying your team. But yet people continue to look at him like he is. And then you just become bait for people who want to attack you.
Yeah, it's like the actor who can't carry a movie. You see this all the time in Hollywood.
By the way, I don't know if you have HBO Max, but if you want to watch the worst, like if you think Wonder Woman was unfairly criticized on the internet, if you think the internet just did internet things, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It didn't even make sense.
Joe, I'm going to give you something, and I'm going to give all the dirtballs something. I didn't watch Wonder Woman 1.
I didn't either.
Watch Wonder Woman 2. I don't watch any of the Marvel movies. Hey, if you do, cool. That's cool. Not my thing.
I barely watch any of the Marvel movies. I've seen
all the Iron Mans. I like that.
I've seen a lot of them. But like the characters I don't care about, I don't go in on. I think I saw all the Avengers now at this point, except for maybe one of them. I definitely watched the last one. I didn't watch Wonder Woman. I wouldn't have watched this one. My girlfriend, all into it. It's on HBO Max. It's free. Let's just watch it. I put it 3 minutes in. I was like, this is the single worst movie I've ever seen. I mean, it might be the single worst movie. I watched The Room. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, it's a lot of it. Like, the whole movie was about making wishes. Like, was this Aladdin?
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig is a cat at one point. Like, you're like, what? Now you're probably going like, what are you talking about? How's Kristen Wiig a cat? Yeah, Kristen Wiig becomes a character from the movie Cats. She goes full Broadway Cats.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's unbelievable. You should almost watch it the way you watch The Room. Like eventually one day they should make a James Franco, Seth Rogen comedy about the making of Wonder Woman 2.
These movies are such shit now. They are. They're trash. I'll argue anybody. And the studios know they're trash. They know it. It's a money grab.
I'm going to go ahead and say the Star Wars is jumping in that same boat.
I'm about to agree with you. It 100% is. And I'm a Star Wars guy. The last few Star Wars that they've been trash. If you look at the first 3 Star Wars and the next 3 and the last 3 are by far the worst. It's trash. It's shit.
We watched the season finale of The Mandalorian. There's a nice little fun moment. We've already talked about it, but like wasn't enough to save anything.
Look, Mandalorian, it's not the best. It's not the worst for me personally. I don't know. Like I just can't. I don't know. I'd rather like I'm more of something of substance, or if I'm gonna watch trash, I'm gonna watch something that I know is trash and laugh, like the Mike Tyson, Steven Seagal movie my brother paid $3.99 to rent, which we learned midway through is no lie, a Chinese propagandist film. It was made all financed in China. And throughout the whole movie, they're waving the Chinese communist flag, which I could not stop laughing, saying you supported communist China by buying this. It's like a propaganda piece you would see the Nazis did during the 30s and 40s. But for China now, it was so ridiculous and so funny at the same time.
Seems like a great way to segue back into the NBA.
Oh, there you go, Joe. That's a great transition.
Are we talking about, speaking of people who have been accused of being Chinese communist pawns, are we touching on our former guest and the drama that surrounds Black Sports Online, LeBron, Bronny James, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife? Like, talk about a wild soap opera.
With Robert Littal?
Yeah. Has there been updates? Because you were sending me updates on like the mentions under his tweets.
Oh my God.
LeBron James, going
and
at
LeBron's
him
wife.
LeBron's wife. And then LeBron, clipped part of it, or did she add his thing?
No,
Bronny's putting up Instagrams of just a mouse, like Getty Images pictures of like a computer mouse.
And then Pippen's ex-wife, what's her name? Larissa, whatever it is.
Sure. Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
She's tweeted that she's threatening to sue Robert Littal from Black Sports Online.
And then he posted later in the day, and all the tweets were like, "Rip you forever." Like,
he took down the tweet. I don't know if he took down the
LeBron.
story connecting LeBron's son Bronny to Larissa Pippen, and I don't know, but it who knows. The funniest part was people just kept saying he's just going to tweet through it. I'm like, that's what he does. Like, people were shocked, saying he's just going to keep tweeting through like this didn't happen, like that LeBron didn't call him out and LeBron's wife. He's just going to keep tweeting through the NFL games and whatever other stories. And I thought that was so funny.
Can we just do this for the comedy of it? I want you, Andy Ruther, Midwest white guy, just give me the Cliff's Notes, shortest version possible that you can, of the Black Sports Online, Scottie Pippen's wife, LeBron James' son drama, start to finish. What happened for our listeners? Go.
So apparently, according to a few other outlets, which Black Sports Online got his info from, Bronny had exchanged DMs with Scottie's ex-wife. But Bronny claims he just liked a couple photos of his friend's mom. Now, again, as we know, you can't keep up with Scottie's ex-wife because she's always around NBA players. I think
upgrading to
Malik Beasley right now.
Younger and younger basketball players.
Yeah.
Because Scottie's 55. Like, how old is Scottie Pippen? Scottie Pippen's got to be 55.
Yeah.
And now she's dating like a 20-something NBA player. And basically what
Larsa Pippen, sorry.
What Robert Littal was essentially hinting at was that she was upgrading once again to now a 17-year-old up-and-coming basketball star.
No, he's 16.
16.
Well, here's the headline from the New York Post from 2 hours ago. LeBron James' wife furious over strange Bronny Larsa Pippen story. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing about Robert Littal. He's smart, though. I mean, look at this. He's getting nonstop coverage. Black Sports Online claimed that the high school hoop star slid into the DMs of Larsa Pippen, the reality TV personality and strange wife of Bulls great Scottie Pippen. The whole story, which appears to have been since taken down, was harshly criticized by Savannah James. That's LeBron's wife. Larsa Pippen is 46.
Savannah James. Who criticized it? Savannah James.
Larsa Pippen, I was looking at her tweet last night. She tweeted at Robert Littal, who then blocked her. I'll sue the fuck out of you for writing some disgusting lies, you weirdo. This is so stupid. The whole thing is so ridiculous. But here's the best part.
What is the Robert Littal headline of this whole thing going to be?
Okay, I'm actually good at these, aren't I?
Yeah, you're pretty good at these.
Okay, the headline of this would be something like prominent, because he would give himself some cred, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Prominent Black online sports media mogul gets called out by 6-time NBA champ great's ex-wife. Oh, it's tough to do on the spot because once I write it out, it's easier to see. But we have in parentheses
Black media mogul called out by 2 NBA greats' wives. One also the mother of an up and coming NBA great for Instagram DM story, pics, vids, and lawsuit. Like when black sports, like the world is going to end. Like it's going to open. It's going to be like the Crossing the Streams and Ghostbusters when there's a black sports online story that links to pictures from a lawsuit against Black Sports Online.
You want to hear the best part about all this? So Larsa Pippen tweets that she's going to sue him. And then she follows it up with a tweet like an hour later. My ex and all my guy friends date younger women, and that's okay, right? So in a way, she's almost like saying, hey, I'm going to sue you. I'm not going after a 16-year-old. But then she's saying, but all the guys.
But if I did.
Dude, she gets so much attention on Twitter and especially Black Twitter. I mean, you see her all over.
Yeah.
Poor Scotty's got to deal with all this bullshit.
Yeah. Scotty didn't know.
Like, he's just dealing with some bullshit.
Scotty doesn't know that his wife's on the internet DMing with Bronny James.
Well, you would argue, allegedly, for the record, you would argue
it's just blowing through a solid Euro trip reference. Just crashing right there. Just not even stopping. Not even paying the toll.
The movie Euro Trip?
Yeah, you remember that? Scotty doesn't know?
That's right.
Come on, Ruther.
Okay, you talked about, is it better for your quarterback to kind of falter a little on that rookie deal? I'd argue is it better to marry young? Like, is it not better to marry? Is it better to settle with somebody who's like not, she's like the hometown girl when you're starting to blow up versus you go after
this is the Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes, half a Billy, still gets engaged to Kermit, screaming Kermit meme.
Yeah. You know what though? This has got to be.
If just Patrick Mahomes' wife is screaming in the owner's box of Arrowhead Stadium, but no fans are there to hear it. Did it actually happen? This is the new tree falling in the woods.
Great question.
Just alone in an empty owner's box.
Oh, I'd be so annoyed. Because to me, the equivalent was that parent in high school that doesn't shut up.
We need a family feud. We need Mahomes family against the Pippen family. We need Mahomes, his screaming wife, his crazy brother, his former Major League father, and his mother versus...
You know his mom's like a maggot too, right?
Versus Scottie Pippen, Scottie Pippen's first wife, Scottie Pippen's younger ex-wife, the young basketball player that his ex-wife is now dating, and of course, LeBron James' son. This would be a good family feud.
It would be.
Steve Harvey would just be like losing his mind.
I was going to say, Steve Harvey would fucking love it.
Mommy. All right, Jackson Mahomes. Another word for mother. Mommy. Have you seen that clip? It's so good. Goes on for like 5 minutes.
Let's finish with some baseball news.
Let's do it.
Big trade. Big trade.
We didn't even get to the free Blake Snell portion of his career, but the Rays did it for him.
Well, they went to the World Series. Obviously, his last game was with them. As far as his last game with them, he pitched a great game. He shouldn't have been pulled early.
Right. I think this is actually a great deal for both sides. It's hard to criticize the Tampa Bay Rays, who they haven't won, but have been to multiple World Series with this strategy. Great farm system, bring guys up, move them for pieces, get great pieces in return, build those guys up. They're, small market team. This is what they do. They're getting value when they can for Blake Snell. He signed a 3-year, $39 million deal. He pitched fantastic in the playoffs. The Padres are trying to win now. They go out and they get a guy who can help them win now. Arguably, they could have gone with a more patient Tampa Bay Rays strategy, kept the guys that the Rays went out and got from them in hopes of being good 3-4 years down the road, maybe making a thing. But they see an opportunity now. They have Machado. Tatis is arguably, one of the best players in all of baseball. They want to compete now. They go out and they get a stud pitcher. I kind of like it from both sides. You can't really, again, argue with the Tampa Bay Rays. I think the only question mark here would be, did the Padres try to go too big too soon? But if you're a Padres fan, you got to like the effort.
Well, the big piece of this trade for the Rays is Luis Patino, Patino, who you and I both interviewed in Amarillo at Hodgetown.
Yep, he was great. We hung out with him in the dugout. We
I gave him shit. I gave him shit. Remember?
Yeah,
a little shit. It's on YouTube. So he's the new stud pitcher that they have, because he's from Colombia. He's been with this girl since he was like 14, and I'm like, bro,
right.
Remember me? I'm like, come on, man. You gotta get on Tinder.
Yeah. Now the question is, Luis Patino was about to be brought up, in the next couple of years to wear the brown, to play in beautiful San Diego. Machado, Tatis, Patino, that, great taco shops, the beach, the whatever. Andy Ruther interviews him, and now he's going to the Trop, a used car lot where they also play baseball games in Tampa Bay.
I see what you're doing here.
I'm not saying the Ruther curse is real. I'm just saying, did you ruin this guy's life by speaking with him one time
with a giant cowboy hat?
Yeah.
The
little text curse might be more powerful than the Andy Ruther curse.
Might I add, I interviewed him wearing a giant stupid ass hat, which I love. I'm
gonna take your life down to shithead row. I'm gonna ruin it, and I'm ruining it some more.
I'm sorry, Luis. I'm sorry, man. I just thought we were having fun in the dugout before the game. I didn't know I'd be sending you to Tampa Bay, where people go to die.
I like it for both teams, but look, you got to be excited. Like, it seems like the Rays know what the Rays are doing in terms of, like, the Rays probably don't compete next year, I think, but they set themselves up to compete again very soon. And the Padres are going for it, and I like it. I'm a low key Padres fan.
Hey, we got a call. I'll play this real quick.
Let's do it,
because you don't hear from many Tampa Bay fans. I got a call from a Rays fan.
Great,
a drunk, disgruntled Rays fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe and Andy. This is Lucas from Richmond, Virginia. I just wanted to ask, what the fuck are the Rays doing trading Blake Snell to the Padres? Like, I know the Padres are going to get way better because of it, but I don't know. And I know Andy definitely knows this feeling. Why does it seem like the owner is basically throwing away the team? It's awful. I used to live in Tampa, so there's that. Also, I'm like half drunk, half hungover. I don't know. It's 6:30 in the morning. I just wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on this. So, Cousins are for the Yankees.
Poor guy.
The worst feeling. 6:30 in the morning, you wake up, you can't figure out if you're drunk still or starting to be hungover. You just want to go back to bed, but you can't because your baseball team is playing the small market game.
Hey, I do relate, by the way. If you follow what the Reds are doing, like everyone's on the trading block for the Reds, including Sonny Gray, which I don't understand because he's on a bargain deal for 2 more years.
Yeah. But look, the reasoning would be he's on a bargain deal, so you could get great value for him now. I mean, there is baseball more so than a lot of sports because you're never just one player away. Mike Trout is proof of that. Mike Trout's the LeBron James of baseball. Barry Bonds was the Michael Jordan of baseball. You don't just get one of those guys and become sure thing going to the World Series every year. So you really got to build around something. And when you're playing that small market game, hey, listen, I've been there, guys. My New York Mets were a big market team with a small market attitude, a bunch of dickheads in charge, and always try to find a way to cut corners and 99-cent store shop. And it's a totally different attitude now. Now I'm just like, if we don't sign Springer and Bauer in the next week, we're gonna storm Steve Cohen's house. So I get it. The thing with the Rays as opposed to the Reds is the Rays have shown the ability to do this, to keep taking value properties and exchanging them for great pieces, and those great pieces coming up and then they're doing it again. I mean, I don't think there's any Rays fan that's sitting out there going like, I can't believe we still don't have Evan Longoria. Like, it worked out. You know what I mean? That being said, if you're a Reds fan, they've shown absolutely no ability to trade value for, prospects and turn that into anything.
Thanks for reminding me.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
Look, neither of the Mets. That's why at this point it's like, hey, yeah, I've been screaming for a baseball salary cap for all these years, but if you guys aren't going to do it, then fine. You can't beat them, join them. Let's spend all the money.
Yeah, well, that's never going to be an option for me.
Right. And it's not going to be an option in Tampa Bay. And it's not going to be an option in Oakland. And it sucks, and it's why there should be a salary cap in baseball. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. It does suck. It truly sucks. I haven't heard much. Are they starting spring training on time? I haven't heard anything.
I have no idea, honestly.
Because that's right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm so on they haven't even started free agency on time. I mean, no one's being signed.
This whole year is just throwing everything off. Well, this is a headline from 12 days ago. Major League Baseball says, expect spring training 2021 to begin on time. Okay. There you have it. No fans, though, I'm sure, which sucks. What a shit year. I tell you what. At least we had the Bronny James, Larsa Pippen, Black Sports Online beef. That was the comedy we all needed. It truly was. Guys, if you have a call, we'll play them next Thursday, or this Thursday, I should say. 310-359-8365. Drop a line and we'll play it. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Dirty Sports. Rate, review on iTunes. Leave those Twitter or Instagram handles, and I will send you koozies in the mail. It's that easy. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. If not, yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Guys, I'm on Cameo. I got a number of people buying Christmas cameos for their friends and family, and I really enjoyed doing those. So if you guys want a New Year's cameo or something, get on there. I'm on Twitter at Fix Your Life, Instagram, TikTok, Venmo at Joe Prano. Just do all the things. Yeah. Buy all the things that Dirty Sports pushes. Drink some Miller Lights. Send us some pictures of it. Follow us. Share our stuff. Subscribe. Rate, review, and subscribe. Set your notifications on YouTube so that when we have episodes like this, they get broken into 2 parts so you don't miss the second part. And that's it for me.
Cool. We're almost towards the end, guys. Just a few more days. Our last episode of Dirty Sports will also be the last day of 2020. Thank God. Have a great.
Are you before you sign off? Are you like do you believe it all in like the 20? Do you believe it all in like 2021? Because I feel like it was just yesterday that everybody was like 2019 sucks, and then now everybody's like 2020, the year of the devil. Do you think anything changes from 12/31/20 to 1/1/21?
I don't know, man. I'm not expecting drastic changes. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
To steal one from Pizza Staro, everybody's gonna wake up and it's gonna be like 2020 is over. We are free of 2020. Also, your rent is due.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. I don't know. Like for me personally, no, I just gotta, keep moving along. As far as the world, like I think I can change things personally, maybe. As far as the world, good luck. We're a long way from this kind of current situation ending, in my opinion.
We need the Andy Ruther curse, the reverse. We need the reverse curse action. Like, I need you to disavow 2021 in advance.
I just said we're a long way from this ending.
Yeah, 2021 is shit. It's going to be garbage. We need like an Andy Ruther. We need like a fax only on 2021. It's going to be garbage. So we can all wake up the next day.
It's like a movie, man.
Yeah.
I watched It's a Wonderful Life last week, by the way.
Oh, how was that? I haven't watched that in forever.
I hadn't watched it in forever. It was good, man.
Bedford Falls.
Yeah, they want to put the color one on, and I said, no. I watched it for a minute. Like by default, Amazon wants to show you the updated colored version. I said, no, this is black and white. This is how it was meant to be. I'm not doing the colored stuff. Where's Bedford Falls, by the way?
Nowhere, but
it looks like New York.
Yeah, it's a made up location. But where I'm from, Katona is in the town of Bedford. My mom now lives in Bedford Hills, so it was always funny. They call it Bedford Falls.
Yeah, exactly. What's the town West Point's in?
West Point is in, I don't know. I mean, that's up that way, but isn't that West Point still?
No, there's just a town. That's why I was saying. I thought it was by Bedford. I don't know.
I mean, it's certainly close to Bedford. West Point's not that far.
Yeah.
From, yeah. I mean, it says it's in West Point, New York.
Interesting.
But it's not very far from where I'm from.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Have a great few days. We'll see you on December 31st. And as always,